Greetings, everyone. This is I'm Right.
I'm right.
And I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I am Anthony Cordova.
And it's cold today.
It's very cold.
Or so I hear. I haven't been outside.
It's like,
I still stay in the house a lot.
It's like down in the 20s. I'm tired of winter.
But that's like the first... Well, it's not the first winter day. But...
I'm glad that we don't live in the Northeast because they're having a blizzard right now.
Yes. Shout out to our friends and family in the Northeast. We hope you're staying safe and warm.
Yep. And we're not going to dig you out. We're not going to shovel any snow. We're not going to pull your car out of a snowdrift. We're not going to put down any sand or any ice melt or any of those things you have to do when you live in the cold climate.
So friends and family, Tony really does love you, even though he just gave you a whole list of things.
I love you all, but I
do.
am not coming to help you shovel any snow or anything.
That's mean.
I'm not doing it. That's not mean. That's a fact.
Well, I think we should move on to this week's episode.
Before
you make some people angry.
What are we going to talk
you.
about? No, actually, they're probably like, they're down there and there's no... Well, it's just cold here, but it's not like winter.
If you say so.
That's true. When you grow up in the Northeast, you know the difference.
Well, I didn't grow up in the Northeast, but I've certainly lived there, and I do know the difference.
No, you come out to go to work, and there's a foot of snow on your car, but yet you're still expected to go to work.
Because they know how to handle snow better.
It's just no fun. It's horrible.
Well, again, I'm trying to move on to this week's episode, which is when you disagree, how appropriate, when you disagree on where to live. It's part of a segment that we call
Stand by Your Stance.
So one thing we agree on is that neither of us wants to live in the Northeast or the Midwest for that matter. Right?
Actually, there's tons of places that we don't want to.
Yes, that we agree that we don't want to live there.
However, there are a few places that we disagree on.
Would you like to tell our listeners where you think we should live?
Well, it's like this. We're getting older, time to retire. And in the past, people would retire and move to Florida.
People still do that.
Well, but the difference is Florida used to be cheaper to live in. The only thing that's cheaper is your taxes are a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
But other than that, the economy is in such a way, and COVID did all of this.
Right.
It's COVID's fault. But it's almost no matter where you go, the homes are crazy expensive.
Okay. Well, it's not like Hawaii, though.
No, not like Hawaii. I said almost.
Okay.
I didn't say anywhere you go, but almost. But the places that people used to move to retire because, the homes would be cheaper and cost of living is cheaper. Those places almost don't exist anymore unless you have a deal. Something you can take advantage of.
Right.
Like us, Jill.
Well, I want to talk about Florida before you move to us.
Well, you want to talk about Florida?
Because once upon a time, Florida was on our list.
It was on our list.
But it's not on our list now, but it's not because of the expense. For me,
that's part of it.
Well, I absolutely refuse to move to Florida until they get their political situation better.
This isn't a political podcast.
It's not, but that is the reason I don't want to move.
I'm talking about financial reasons why.
Well, yes, you are, but I'm talking about political ones.
Well,
I'm
we're
saying
disagreeing on
there's
that right now.
There's more than one reason why people don't want to live someplace. It's not all about money.
I still want to live close to the ocean, but
same.
If I can't.
But there are options. There are options.
No, you're missing. You're not looking at the money. Like for instance,
we could afford to move to one of the Bahamas, the islands in the Bahamas.
No, we can't.
Yes, we can.
No.
I watch the shows.
We
You
can't.
don't. Yes.
You watched the shows and you told me about the shows, and then I went on Zillow to see what
You
I
looked
could
in the
find.
Bahamas.
Yes, I actually did look in the Bahamas. Yes.
And what did you find?
I found that we could make a lateral move.
But it's a better move because there's an ocean.
Well, the lateral move, we would actually have to downsize quite a bit. So we would have to go from, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with a basement and formal living rooms and dining rooms and decks and all of that. We'd have to go down to a 3-bedroom house with 2 baths, no basement, no, workshop where I can do my stuff. No, less space. And you complain now about there's not enough space in this house for you. So how do you think
because
it would
none of the space in this house is just for me? Like you have a space just for you, but I don't.
Well, we can get you right in studio. I told you we'll put that on the priority list, but that's not what we're talking about now. We're talking about affordable places to live.
No, we're not talking about affordable.
Yes.
We're talking about places we disagree on where to live.
It's
not just about money.
But
it's not just
everything
about
boils
money.
Everything boils down to money.
For you, but not for me.
If it boils down to money for me, it boils down to money for you. Okay.
No, it doesn't. So take, for example, the place that you would like to move that you find affordable. And I'll tell you the reasons I don't want to move, none of which has anything to do with money.
Oh, not for you, but for
that's
me.
What I'm saying. There's more than one reason to not want to move someplace.
You don't look at those things, but I do.
So talk about the place you would like to move that I don't.
I would like to move to Emory, Texas.
Boo! Wish we had sound effects. Boo!
That is.
And
why
would you like? Why would you like to move?
Well, because my brother owns a very nice size. Very nice size.
It's not 4 bedrooms. It's not 3 baths, like you just said.
Actually, it is.
It's not 4 bedrooms and 3 baths.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's not.
There's 2. No, there's
3 bedrooms.
No, there's 2 bathrooms downstairs and 1 bathroom upstairs.
Are they all full baths?
Yes.
What about the bedrooms? There's not 4 bedrooms.
The 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there's 4 bedrooms.
I do not recall.
There's 4 bedrooms. I promise you, there's 4 bedrooms there.
Okay, so you would like to move there because?
Well, 1, it's in golf cart distance, actually walking distance to the lake. Very big lake, Lake Fork. People are like dying to move to Lake Fork. Well, mostly fishermen, because it's one of the best bass fishing lakes in the country.
So you want to move there because there's a lake where you can fish?
Well, not only that, no one stays in the house. My brother and his family have not been there in years. The house is just there going in disrepair. So
does your brother want to sell it?
I don't want to buy it.
You want to just move into a free house?
Yes.
Your brother would let you do that?
Yes, because I would fix it up. He knows that. That would be the deal.
So the deal is you could live in this space for free if you fix it up.
Yes. Exactly.
Do you see any cons to this situation?
I don't see any cons to this situation. No, I don't. A rent-free place. I see no cons to this place. It's quiet. It's good for writing. That's wonderful. Oh, it has a garage. The garage is probably it's like a building in itself.
It is, yes.
It's humongous.
Yes.
Humongous.
And what would you use that garage for?
I would put a writing studio in there for you.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't. It would be your workspace, just like your basement is now.
No, but it's that big. It is that big that I could put a writing studio inside there for you. It's
I would have the
humongous.
whole building as a writing studio.
Not the whole building.
That's
no.
what I'm saying. So if you used it also as your workspace, then that defeats the purpose of being in a writing studio where you're not bothered by distractions and noise.
Here's something you don't know about that property. It also has a she shed on it.
Where?
It's behind the other building.
Oh, so I would have to like battle the bobcats and the snakes and all of that to get there?
We can move it to wherever you want.
It's portable.
Yes.
How big is it?
It's I think it's like 10 by 20.
So what if I took the garage as my writing studio and you took the she shed as your workshop?
It's not even big enough to put a car in. That's why. It's not big enough to put a car in. It's not big enough to put a boat in. We need a garage.
So so how much of the garage do I get as a writing studio?
You said you didn't want it. I said I have a she shed.
But I don't want to like go in the jungle to get there. You don't have
to go. I said we can move it wherever we want. You can move it right next to the house.
How big is it? Like, could I fit
I said it's about a 10 by 20.
You know what? Measurements mean nothing to me.
It's about the size of this room that we're in now.
So I could fit a small sofa, a desk.
Yep.
Does it have windows?
Yes, it does.
Does it have electricity?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't have a bathroom, but you can walk into the house, go to the bathroom.
So we could put it like right by the back door.
Well, you don't want it on the back door.
Well, but like where the fire pit was. You know where the fire pit was?
You know how it has a big patio. It's got a big patio there. So we could put it like right at the edge of the patio.
And what are you going to do about the creatures that I keep naming?
You're going to walk out the back door onto the concrete patio into your she shed.
But what if I come outside to go to my writing studio and there's a bobcat or a snake or whatever? What are you doing about the creatures?
What will you do if you walk out our door where we live now and you see a bear or a bobcat or a dog? Or a cat, or a squirrel.
I'm fine with the dog, cat, and squirrel. But if I see those other animals, that it's their house, then I'm moving.
No, you're not.
I might.
No, you won't.
I might be like, I'm.
No.
See, I don't. I rarely come out of the house, so I wouldn't come out of the house then either.
But you wouldn't move. Like I said, everything comes down to money, so you wouldn't move.
So the cons that I see are. It's a little too isolated for me. How far is the closest store?
About.
Like how long of a drive?
10, maybe 15 minutes.
No, it's longer than that.
No, really.
It took us longer than that to find. Like the last time I was there, I needed Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi connection, and we went like at least 45 minutes away to find one. We were in the car for that long. Yes, we were before we found a restaurant or McDonald's or something where I could use the Wi-Fi.
We drove into town, and it's only like 2 or 3 miles. It's about 3 miles into town.
And what's the store that you're referencing right now?
Well, at the time it was Piggly Wiggly, but they have a what's the store they have in Texas? Whatever the big chain store, Albertsons, I think maybe it is. They have a big Albertsons out, but we wouldn't have to go into town for you to get internet. We'd have internet at the house. See?
Okay. Well, as long as I have a connection, but it's too isolated. And the neighbor would be at our house all the time, and he talks way too much.
Well, the neighbor is.
I wouldn't get anything done because he would be talking all the time.
Oh, Ted, go away. That's all you have to say.
His name isn't Ted.
Yes, it is. His name is Ted.
His name is not Ted.
What's his name?
Pat.
Pat doesn't live there. That's Plano, Texas.
But Pat was I never saw Pat in Plano. I saw Pat in Emory.
Pat lives in Plano, Texas. He doesn't. You will not see Pat. Pat doesn't even go out there anymore. He stopped going out there.
So who is Ted?
The neighbor in Emory. His name is Ted.
I never met Ted.
Yes, you did, because my sister scared him. My sister said, I'm going to whip your behind. Remember?
No, I do not remember.
You don't remember?
I mean, she says that to some people, but I don't recall.
She said,
And
Ted,
why?
I'm going to whip your behind.
Why?
I said, Ted, I don't know. He said something. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I stick up for my sister-in-law. So if she wanted to kick his butt, chances are I will too.
The neighbors on the other side, and again, the houses are really spread out. Really spread out.
True.
They have horses. They have horses.
That's not a selling point for me.
Okay, well, maybe we'll get
and
horses.
Can you swim in this lake? Well, not that I want to swim in a lake. I don't want to swim in a lake.
It's more of a fishing lake. It's a lot of stumps and stuff, but they have an area of the lake where people water ski, stuff like that.
And you want to move to Texas?
Well, look, I'm tired of working as hard as I've been working.
Okay.
So that would allow me to be able to do that, to sell this house, move to Texas. We don't have any rent. We got money from selling the house. We could still do work online and stuff like that.
But we would be away from our family, and do you think my mother would want to go, or my mother lives with us?
She's lived on a farm before, so she'd be fine.
She never liked the farm. Though.
It's about. Let me see. I think that property is like. It's not 10 acres. I think it's 6 acres.
That's a lot of land.
Yeah.
So
6 acres.
And you would like to maintain it? That's a lot of land.
Yeah. If I don't have anything else to do, fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not paying any rent.
Yeah, but we have
I
other
will
bills.
Smile every day.
So what am I expected to do for work there?
Do whatever type of remote work you can do, but then you'll be a famous writer by then, so it's not a problem.
I don't need to be a famous writer,
but you will be. So yeah,
it feels very isolated, though.
It is isolated. It's nice and quiet. Nobody to bother us.
But sometimes that's a bad thing. Like here, I admit that I very rarely leave the house. Very rarely even go outside.
Yeah.
But it's nice to look out the window and see civilization.
What do you look? You can look out the window right now. What do you see? A house across the street. Yeah,
but I often see people walking their dogs or just walking. There's always people around. I never feel isolated here. And if I want to go to a restaurant or a store, the few times I want to go pick up food or have food delivered,
yes,
it's very close.
Yes,
not so there.
Yes, that is a downside. Everything here, everything's 5 minutes away. Doesn't matter what it is. It's really close.
Right.
Okay.
And it's very easy for people to get to us.
It's all they have to do
it's a different lifestyle. Get on the interstate. We're right after. We're right off of a interstate exit.
It's a different lifestyle. It's quieter. It's slower. It's more peaceful.
I don't know if it's peaceful or not.
I know it's peaceful. I've spent a lot of time there. I've spent a whole lot of time there. It's
I think we have different definitions of peaceful, though.
I don't think we do.
I think we do.
What's peaceful to you? Watching TV?
No. I enjoy, the things that we agree on in terms of peace is just, living a very drama-free life. We don't like negativity,
that is true.
Or, the negative vibes. So that we could accomplish there for sure, because we wouldn't be around people. Yeah,
but when we get the need, the listeners know I'm a loner. I'm a loner. I'm not saying that I'm not a friendly person. I am, but
You're friendlier than me.
I don't think so. But I'm a loner. I don't have a problem being by myself. I can be by myself for months and I'm okay. But ever so often, I'm like, I just want to hang out with some people. So we get in our car
and drive for hours to get there.
Doesn't matter. We make a weekend out of it. Go somewhere.
Take you that long to get there.
maybe we get on a plane, maybe we drive, who knows? But how often do we entertain or go to someone's house?
We entertained last weekend.
But
People came to our house.
My point is, how often in a year? It's not like we're the people that entertain all the time. We're not. We're not. We might have one. Well, during COVID, we haven't had any, but we might have one big cookout a year. One, they used to be big, but we might have one cookout when we invite people over, but that's one time in a year.
But what about family? Like right now, we're close to certain family members.
Yeah,
like we could get to them anytime.
That's a downside too, but I don't want to work myself to death for the rest of my life.
I agree with that.
I'm doing it right now. So I'm looking for some place where I can live cheaper, slower, easier, and I don't have, my father used to call it the rat race. I don't have to be in the rat race.
That's true. That's true. I don't wish that for you.
Yeah. But again, like I told you, many of my decisions were where to move and all that is financial. Like we could move to, well, let's say if it went for the governor of Florida, let's say they had a governor we liked. Okay.
Well, Texas doesn't either. They don't have a governor.
All the states we like have governors we don't like, including this state.
True. That is true.
So that really doesn't matter. But if we wanted to move to Florida, even, we would have to downsize to like a tiny home, and it wouldn't be any cheaper than this home. So
I tell you what, I'm going to make a deal with you.
Okay.
If I can't find a gig or gigs that allow you to work less, or maybe even not, that enable you to not even work at all, maybe you could quit by June to give me 6 months. If I can find a job that will allow that, we stay here. And if I can't, we move.
I might not make it to June, Jill. We got to change that June date.
Okay, what do you want to change it to?
June is a long time away.
It's 5 months.
April.
Okay.
That's a long time too.
All right, April.
But again, it's all financial. The reason I even say Emory.
I know that's your reason. But do you understand my reasons for
you just don't want to live out there in the
I don't. I've lived in the sticks before. That's why I'm like, I couldn't wait to leave. And so when I became, college, when I graduated from high school, I was definitely ready to leave. It never even occurred to me to stay where I was.
Yeah. So, but Jill, my thing. If I'm in what I perceive to be a bad situation, I try to figure out how to make it a good situation.
I understand that.
So under the circumstances, financially, that would be a good place to move. I'm not asking you to move into an RV or something and sell our house. I'm not asking you to do that. But then, like if we hit the lottery or something, we got to play to win. But if we hit the lottery, all of those, that Emory plan just goes out the door. I'm not even thinking about it.
So I have until April to find something that would make you stay.
I hope you find something way sooner than that because I'm tired.
I know you are, but it takes time to get a job. It takes time to get a job that pays well enough for you to do that.
Well,
it takes time. People, corporations are saying that, they have a shortage, but seems to me like they don't want qualified people. They want
cheap labor.
They want cheap labor, and I'm not that. I refuse to be that.
But you're not going after a McDonald's job.
That may actually be more money than some of the jobs I've looked at. It's actually more money. If we're talking about financials. So anyway, you'll give me a chance to.
Sure, Jill. Sure.
Okay. All right.
So
see, I can compromise. I will bite my tongue the whole time we're there to like, because I'll see you happy. And that means something to me.
I can go fishing whenever I want. So I can take the boat and be out on the lake and just chill,
We don't have a boat.
I would get another boat.
Oh, you would get another boat?
Yes. With all the money we made from selling the house, I could afford to just go buy a boat. I wouldn't even have to fix up the old boat. I just buy another one.
So I see your quality of living improving, which matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see mine.
Oh, really? What changes? Tell me what changes.
Living in the country again. But
what do you do here that is so great? What's your normal day?
My normal day is to write and edit
inside the house. Yes, because I keep saying
I would like to have a writing studio where I could do that.
But you keep telling the listeners that you stay in the house most of the time.
Yes, because of COVID.
You were staying in the house before COVID.
Not nearly as much. I would at least get him. Like now, it's like, oh, is my car going to start today? Because it's been a while since I've started it.
You get out there in the country, you don't even have to worry about COVID.
I know, because I would definitely stay inside. All right, let's move to our second segment that we call
Give It a Rest and a Resolution.
Oh, correction. I would stay in the writing studio.
Okay.
What's your conclusion? You have a conclusion? Let's go. Is that your conclusion?
Sometimes listen to your husband.
I listen to you all the time. What are you talking about?
We better write that down. It'll be an episode about how many times you don't listen to me.
We did that already.
We need to do a refresher.
I've gotten a lot better since that episode. All right, let's get to our third segment.
You didn't give anything.
My conclusion was my compromise. That's my conclusion.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's move to our third segment that we call
I'm trying to help you.
Advice.
My advice is sometimes we need to do something different to make our life better, even if it's something we didn't think of before. A complete change.
Yeah, okay.
That's all you have?
Yeah, that's all I have. I don't even have advice on this one. Well, no, my advice is really, you are expressing concerns. Legitimate concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And so my advice is to listen. And if you're able to fix or remedy those concerns, then suck it up and do it.
Suck it up. I know somebody else that says that a lot.
She says snap out of it.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. Well, let's get to our last segment that we call.
So, what do you think? What do you think?
Because I'm right.
Because I'm right.
I would love for listeners to weigh in on this.
I, too, would love listeners
because some of the listeners wouldn't see us anymore.
And anyway, the number is 404-594-2247. We've had 2 listeners chime in on our last episode about.
Yes, and both of the votes were saying that I'm right, that we should try to be on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, but when does the voting end?
It could have ended now.
Well, listeners, I need some more votes for not being on The Amazing Race.
No.
Yeah, I do. I need some more votes. But anyway, that's the number, 404-594-2247. Call in, chime in on this or anything else you want to talk about.
Yep. So you've been listening to I'm Right.
I'm Right.
I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I am Anthony Cordova.
Shout out to Gifford Ivan Cordova III for the music, Nick Zinke for the art, and thank you, listeners. Really weigh in on this, because some of you know us personally, and you may not be able to see us anymore if we move to the country, never to be seen again.
We just have to make appointments to see people, whether we come here, because we could come back here a lot.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. We love you all. Bye-bye.